Yeah, I just have to provide it all up. I appreciate it. Thanks all, Mary. Yeah. Sorry.
David, I really appreciate it. That's great.
Good evening. It is 7:30, and so we are going to start the Common Council meeting of Beaver Dam for June 2nd. Can we take a roll call?
Anderson. Burnett. Burnett.
Here.
Marie.
Here.
Flaherty.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Yansky.
Here.
Hiley. Here. Keel.
Here.
Olson. Perkins.
Here.
Wild. Here.
Not yet.
Stop.
Here.
I'll Google it right now.
Let the record show that Alder Anderson is excused.
Is Chris
Well, he
present?
he
did say.
He was having issues during ops too.
Okay, thank you.
technical
say
difficulties.
Thank you.
So let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. The next item up on our agenda is an informal public hearing. Now is the time when anyone, either online or in person, who would like to come forward and speak to council has the opportunity. So I see one person or two perhaps.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hello, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Annette Camps, and I'm representing the AUW, American Association of University Women. And I am chair of its Unity and Community Committee, which is kind of an outreach committee that looks for opportunities to involve the community in programs that we present. This is the fourth year that we have had a summer book reading that we have promoted and encouraged people to read. And it's usually about a particular topic, an issue of interest at the moment. And this year, our selection is by John Noltner, and I'm going to have Anita talk more about that, and then I'll fill you in. But it is going to culminate with a week-long residency in Beaver Dam. Very exciting. So, Anita?
Hi, I'm Anita Strike and I work at the Beaver Dam Community Library. Glad to see you all. And I just want to let you know, today we're kicking off our summer library program, and we're also kicking off our summer read, which we're partnering with AUW, Unity and Community. We were really excited when AUW asked us to partner with them. We've done this three
This is
years,
the fourth
3
year.
years, 3 years partnering together. The libraries purchased several copies, and we also had some donated of John Noltner's books. And he is a Beaver Dam High School graduate. He graduated in 1985, and he's a photojournalist, as well as having multimedia installations, which we're going to have here in Beaver Dam. So throughout the summer, these books will be available in the library for checkout. Annette has some also that she's distributing to some organizations in Beaver Dam. And anyone's welcome to read the book. We are going to have a discussion with John Noltner on the 18th of September. And these will be available throughout the summer to read. I think we have 10 copies of each. And our library book club is also going to discuss with John during that time.
Okay, well, like I said, the expansion of the read this summer is the fact that John Noltner, originally from Beaver Dam, is going to be here September 14th through the 20th, and he's going to be moving around the entire community. We're going to include schools and other community entities offering programs and workshops, and that will be culminated in a presentation he will give at the community theater on the last day, on the 20th. And there will also be an exhibit of his work, his portraits and storytelling at the Dodge County Center for the Arts. John has international recognition. Right now, I think he's either on his way or in Ireland. He's been invited to work with people there and with a college team to look at, as he calls, bridging the divides. He's a peace advocate, and probably the best way to explain what he's about is a quote from his book. His project reflects his belief that art and storytelling can help individuals, organizations, and communities articulate their deepest values, encourage action toward building social capital and community connections. So I do have a handout here that gives you more details, but it's going to be unique and exciting, and we're publicizing as much as we can so that there are people even from outside of Beaver Dam who will be coming, because John will be a real magnet for people to come to Beaver Dam. So I'm going to hand these out, and it gives you more details. And Anita has a flyer for the library program as well. So you are invited to a number of public events that are that will be publicized throughout the summer, and some are listed on those flyers. And we encourage you to talk it up. We'd like everybody involved in getting together to communicate together and kind of put another level of unity in our community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we encourage you to come and check out the book at the library. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. If anyone's interested, I also have 1 or 2 copies of that book that someone could borrow. Any other citizens who are interested in addressing the council, either in person or online? Now is your opportunity to speak to the council. Anyone? Okay, then we're going to move on to announcements. You can tell that it is summer because there are so many fun things happening, and I just want to remind people of what's going on in our community. This coming Saturday, the Beaver Dam Lake Improvement Association is having their annual Fish and Fun event from 8:30 until noon. It is free to children ages 4 through 12. They'll hold all kinds of clinics, all related to fishing, and then at the end, every child gets a free rod and reel. So find a child and take them down to Waterworks, okay? June 11th, our recreation department starts their live music series in the park at the Swan City Pavilion, or excuse me, at the amphitheater. Starts Wednesday at 7 o'clock with our own Elwood Lee Band. So we're all looking forward to that. First sign of summer. From Friday the 13th until Sunday the 15th is our annual Arts and Peony Festival. This year is a special event because not only is it our event, but the National American Peony Society is holding their convention in Beaver Dam. And because of that, they are having their National Flower Show at the high school and seminars and classes, and they've agreed to open all of those to the general public. In addition to the seminars and classes relating to flowers and the flower show, there will be an art market, live music, art and sewing exhibits. Oven's Peony Farm will having tours and events. The Dodge County Historical Society again holds their ghost telling festival and has their ice cream social. And there will be free trolley rides throughout the city taking people to all these events. So I encourage everyone to get involved. And if that isn't enough, then that Saturday, the 14th, we also have the Taste of Wisconsin. Over 140 craft beers, over 30 cheeses, 5 wineries with live music, games and prizes, and food trucks from noon until 4, all downtown. So lots and lots going on. Good. Finally, most of you are aware that this is Nathan's last council meeting with us. I want to thank him for the many things the city has accomplished over the last almost 3 years under his leadership, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Good. Any other? Oh. Any other announcements? Okay, then we move on to the disposition of the minutes from our council meeting of May 19th. Can I get a motion? Alder Burnett?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Thank you. Anyone else? Get a second?
I'll second.
Alder Zopp? Any corrections or additions to the minutes? All those in favor of approving the minutes as printed in your packet, so signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions?
I abstain.
Thank you, Alder Perkins. So the minutes pass. Next up is our city administrator report.
So just two announcements or things to pass along to the council, both in relation to the fire. I did receive notification from the fire chief on two fronts that first, the union had reviewed the TA, and they've at least we've heard that they've approved it. So we're waiting on final documents from their group, but hopefully at the next meeting that will come through the administrative committee. So that should have closure, which will be great. And then second, despite some threats with tariffs, we're pleased to know that the new aerial ladder should not be impacted. So I figured that might, I'm glad to pass along some good news. So that is all I have, other than just appreciate the efforts that this council have made. And I also want to thank staff. I have thoroughly enjoyed the department heads that I've worked with. And so I'm grateful to them for their support these 3 years.
Great, thanks. And Tracy, any communications?
We have no communications this evening.
Okay, the next item is the approval of the bills from May 16th until May 29th in the amount of $654,540.51. All those in favor of approving the bills, so signify by saying aye. Oh,
You need a motion.
Motion, you're right. I'm just too anxious to get through my list here. Alder Zopp?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Thank you. And Alder Keel?
I'll second.
Thank you. Now, all those in favor of paying the bills, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The bills will be paid. Next up are ordinances. We have two ordinances this evening. First one, ordinance number 3.
Ordinance number 3-2025, an ordinance to adopt the City of Beaver Dam Comprehensive Plan. This is a first and second reading.
And I don't know, Nathan, do you want to explain or you want me to explain? This, you may recall, you've seen this before. It came before council. It it has been, has gone through the Plan Commission where the public hearing was held. And then after it was, we held a public hearing in the Plan Commission, it was approved by the Plan Commission and approved through the council. Then we were notified by the newspaper that they had made a mistake and they had not published the notice for the public hearing. So technically, we had to have another public hearing at the Plan Commission meeting, which was last week. So we did, had another public hearing. And so now all our legal ducks in a row are in a row. So we don't have any other action that we have to take because both the Plan Commission has approved this and we've held the public hearing. But now it comes to the council and you've already passed it, correct?
Well, the Plan Commission has recommended forward to the council for approval. I am caught flat-footed. I should have had a presentation, and I don't, Todd, you didn't bring it up with you, did you? We were going to present the comp plan to you tonight so that you would see the same thing that the Plan Commission had seen, and I spaced it today. So we can do a couple of things. Todd can look in his past documents and find it. Otherwise, we might be able to move forward on the agenda and then come back. But we'll see if Todd's working magic.
But I believe the council has seen at least an edition of the comp plan, correct?
Well, if they've reviewed it in the on the website or in the Plan Commission meeting, then they would have. But the intent was, and Todd's pulling it up, was to go through these slides. Todd, if you want to advance it, nobody needs to. Okay. So basically, we'll go through the background. We'll review how there was a community action plan, which you guys are well familiar with, as well as the Plan Commission review. We'll go through some chapter summaries and then the implementation plan. The next steps are basically, this is the last step tonight. So just as background information, your last plan was adopted in 2009, so well over 15 years ago. State statute requires an update every 10 years. We did do a preliminary update a year ago with the housing study, but that was primarily to just get some grant funding. It was really time to do a formal update. We submit, once we've finished the update or finished a comprehensive plan, we do submit these to the Department of Administration. And there are 9 basic elements to the comprehensive plan, which you can see there, and those are the chapters that we'll be reviewing. So as you're aware, the Community Action Plan, that really was last year, this time of year. It finished off in May with the final presentations. Just top highlights, there were 40 plus volunteers, 1,000 plus hours of participatory hours. They conducted their own open house, had well over 250 people in attendance. It was really a successful event. Again, significant community engagement, and they had over 80 plus recommendations. So this was the Plan Commission. After the Community Action Plan met and provided their recommendations, we then basically staff and the Plan Commission digested the comp plan and tried to incorporate the recommendations that came from the Community Action Plan. So in July, we reviewed chapters 1, 2, and 3, August, and so on, until this last January, we discussed the final chapter, chapter 10. I'm not going to read through all of these, what I'll do is after the meeting, I will send out, we should have included this in the packet, and I'm just realizing, But we can include basically the policies that, well, that's might have been included in the packet because I know this was in the packet. So in your packet, we won't go through all of these, but a lot of the policies that were modified or adjusted that the Plan Commission are proposing included all of these different elements. So in housing, they had 4 basic elements, which I can't really read, Mayor. Thank you. No, you're fine. I won't go through all of these. You can read them in the packet, but the point is that why don't we skip through these, Todd? They're not? Oh. Well, then do you want me to go through all these policies? I'll defer to you. Do you want me to? Okay. Pick the high level ones. Okay. So they wanted us to identify the neighborhoods and have kind of a signage plan for the different creating visual welcome signs to the neighborhoods. We also are going to evaluate the need for a housing authority and a community development authority. A lot of these policies were in the previous plan, and we reviewed with the Plan Commission whether we wanted to maintain these policies and move them forward or whether we wanted to remove them. 3.3 again has to do with the housing facade grant program. It's an element that we're already kind of doing with the downtown the redevelopment DRC, the Downtown Redevelopment Commission, and that was of interest to continue to expand that program. Identifying specific target areas to increase outreach for CDBG grant or the Community Development Block Grant program. One of the items was to look at accessory dwelling units to see if we could find other ways to increase density within our neighborhoods. And then, of course, monitor statistical data for the need for local shelter for homeless needs. And then updating the zoning code to reduce any restrictive regulation, which the Plan Commission has already started this last meeting. Transportation, one of the top priorities was to update the official map on an annual basis. And so that's something that they're going to be reviewing every year. That's been something that we haven't necessarily had a strong practice, as well as modifying the subdivision ordinance to require that streets don't have cul-de-sacs, but that we have more of a grid network. Establishing a complete street policy was a desire. What that is basically having sidewalks, bike lanes, and having the necessary parking and so forth, making sure that the street fits the look and feel, whether it's an arterial or whether it's a neighborhood street, right? And so creating a blueprint for a style of street dependent on the function of that street. Expanding the official bike route map and also expanding the multi-use paths throughout the community, continuing to work with our neighbors or our regional partners, whether it be DNR or Dodge County. And I think I covered those, so if you want to move to the next slide. Continuing to evaluate the shared ride system. Primarily, again, this council had talked about upgrading it so that we have more of a microtransit with technology and so forth. The 4.10, that's kind of an overlap with making sure that we have kind of the complete streets and also the subdivision ordinance that sidewalks are incorporated, that we don't forget that as we evaluate subdivisions. And then the last one was evaluating using roundabouts rather than signalized intersections. Now, the Plan Commission did say, hey, we don't want to just go roundabout, haphazard, but really to take a close look because signals can also cost quite a bit of money. And so making sure that we're really evaluating our intersections and seeing where they make sense, putting in roundabouts. And so that would be something that we would study. It wasn't necessarily that we had a specific plan. We're going to do roundabout here and here and here. These were some items that the Plan Commission, we had talked about with the Plan Commission that got added to the plan since at the time when we reviewed this with them. So Todd and I had a really good conversation with DOT regarding both the jurisdictional transfer of Highway 33 and shifting it to County B. That was something that came out of the Community Action Plan for shifting Highway 33 out of the downtown so that we can avoid truck traffic. So that was something that the Plan Commission asked for us to incorporate into the plan, as well as moving County G and shifting it along Highway 151 and Madison Street so that it doesn't necessarily come all the way into town, back down Madison and cut through by Quick Trip. There was also a desire for us to be cognizant of the 151 conversion study and to place that into the plan so that as we're moving forward, it would be on the minds of the Plan Commission and also offer us opportunities to be better partners with DOT. DOT also suggested to make sure that we put a little bit more of a stronger emphasis of the multi-use trail system. That was something, again, that came out of the Community Action Plan, and the Plan Commission also saw the need. So these items were actually added into the plan since we discussed with the Plan Commission. Utilities and community facilities was Chapter 5, or the third item. Basically, a lot of this information was about us continuing to make sure that our wastewater and our water utilities were up to speed, that they met our needs. You're well aware of some of the discussions that we've had regarding lead lines, and even as we expand. We recently just did the sewer service area reval. So many of these items touched on that. Continuing to contract services for solid waste for pickup and recycling. And 5.5, that was something that actually the Plan Commission started talking about reevaluating parking ratios and street profiles. And that kind of ties back to that complete streets segment. Reassess the fire station. You guys are already working on that, looking at updates to that facility, exploring options to consider a more environmentally municipal fleet, friendly fleet, and then again doing the annual update to the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan. As you can see, a lot of these items, these policies aren't new. They're not, they're things that are of the interest of the council. And the Plan Commission really wanted to make sure that we prioritize the things that were things that we wanted to do and could help us and assist us with getting grant money. A lot of these were items that had to do with working with partners outside of the township or our township areas. I think probably the most pertinent here was the GIS study. This is 6.4. Establish a GIS public tree inventory and a tree management plan. Again, I know that Todd will be going out for a grant. I know that our main concern is that right now it's all in John Newman's head and on paper. And we want to make sure that we can get that into a system where we can reference it for years to come. And then going back, the 6.8, this was important. Previously in the plan, there had been a desire for us to create an ordinance that banned the use of fertilizer and phosphates for stormwater purposes. The Plan Commission really kind of thought that was a little bit aggressive and said, you know, we really feel like we should be using a carrot rather than a stick, and be thinking about how can we do more marketing campaigns and really work on the PR to help educate people. And so we changed that policy slightly. Also 6.12, the codifying of the downtown guidelines by ordinance. I think that was a big deal, primarily just to reinforce the need for maintaining our historic downtown and trying to make sure that we're, maintaining our cultural resources. Likewise, the establishing a historic district remained a priority. Both the Plan Commission and was a recommendation from the Community Action Plan. Todd, one more on that one was the last one, 6.14. This came out of the Community Action Plan, was consideration to work with the Dodge County Art Association or another entity for a children's museum and science center. Economic development. This focused on kind of areas in the city where we felt needed redevelopment or needed to be reevaluated. And you can see Front and Spring Street, develop a unified streetscape plan. That was something that came out of the Community Action Plan Committee. Again, maintaining the downtown restoration program or the facade restoration program was important. Codifying the downtown standards, that was a reiteration, but again, applicable to this economic development. 7.6, establish tax increment finance districts to redevelopment blight along Spring Street. And then primarily kind of the Green Giant area, and then also the south side of the city were kind of the two focus areas. So kind of improving area where, you know, we've got the new middle school, also the extension of Madison, the Apple Valley area were the two areas of focus from the Plan Commission. Many of these were mostly just trying to make sure that we were being smart in our efforts, actively working with our state legislators to support funding mechanisms that will assist us, and then annually evaluating and identifying sites. And so this is something that the Plan Commission and Todd intend to do, is every year basically evaluating a map that you can reference in the actual plan. If you want to go to the next slide, Todd. Intergovernmental cooperation, many of these have to do with us setting up ETJs or extraterritorial jurisdictions, or working with the townships to try to create better collaboration, or the county for overlap with either facilities or programs, and looking for cost sharing. And then the last chapter, chapter 10. Oh, well, yeah, skip this. Oh, we went backwards. Land use. Many of these items had to do with us basically reevaluating the zoning code and also evaluating our zoning maps and the subdivision ordinance. So like, for instance, 8.5, update the subdivision ordinance to include conservation design and traditional neighborhood design. That's actually something that the Plan Commission already is reviewing and working on. Go to the next one. Evaluating our regulations. So again, that one, the Plan Commission has been working on with Vanderwall. 8.6. 8.7, updating our commercial zoning district regulations to encourage more appropriate use of site design, was a recommendation that also came out of the Vanderwall. And then study 8.9, establish multifamily housing design standards to address traditional residential street design. A lot of those aspects are being studied by the Plan Commission, and these were important things to the Planning Commission. So Chapter 10 basically went through and kind of prioritized all of these policies. And what I'll do is I will plan on, after our meeting, I thought that these were included in the packet. I will plan on sending these out so that you have them for reference. But it was very beneficial, and I thought the Plan Commission was very smart in arranging it this way. They basically tried to identify the main policies that they wanted to work on. So they prioritized their top 10. They established a time range. So if it was short, it was something that they could accomplish in a year. If it was mid-range, it was something that might take 2 to 5 years. If it was long range, it was something that might take 10 years. And it depends on when they start, right? And so none of these were a goal of how quickly they should finish, but it was more trying to gauge how quickly they could be completed once they began. If it was a hometown plan, there was a Y next to it. And then the partnership, some of these things, policies required there to be a partner. Somebody would need to be, like, if we're going to create a TID, for instance, it would require us to have some type of developer, right, to partner with us. And so you would see a partnership. The dollar signs are just reflective on how much we felt it would cost to complete. So if it had $4 signs, you're talking $1 million plus. 3, it was in the $100,000 range. 2, it was, you know, 10,000 and above, and $1 would be 10,000 and below. And we're not going to go through all of these. Again, I will send them to you. But Todd, if you want to go through, I guess there were just the top 10, huh? Yeah. At this time, the Community Action Plan continues to meet. They're working on the bike repair stations. They're working on the multi-use path. They're working on the downtown plaza. The Plan Commission is already starting on many of these priorities with the zoning code review. They're planning on doing the annual official street map, and they're annually going to update the future use map as well. That's going to be a general discussion that they'll have annually. And then at the time we were planning on this, like the mayor had mentioned, to bring this to council for adoption April 21st. And we would have been much more prepared on April 21st, but we were thrown a little bit of a loop into tailspin because the newspaper hadn't published it at that time. So again, I apologize for my not being completely prepared tonight. But I will just commend the Plan Commission and their efforts, as well as the Community Action Plan and their efforts. And if there are questions specific to the comp plan, I will say that I think it's a good document. It's worth moving forward and reviewing by the council. So.
Okay, first, are there any questions for Nathan about the comprehensive plan? I know it's a lot to have thrown at you very quickly. I'm on the Planning Commission, so I've been knee deep in this for a long time. So to me, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, been looking at this many times. But just keep in mind that the comprehensive plan is just that, it's a plan, it's a working document, and it's just a guidepost for us to go forward. Whether we accomplish those things in the document or not, that's kind of up to this group, I guess, kind of up to the council. But at this point, I'm guessing we maybe are not ready to take action, correct? But we'll.
Well, if the council is willing to go forward, yes. But if they want to bring this back at the next meeting, we can wait.
Does someone want to make a motion about the comprehensive plan, given that it wasn't in your packet? How do you feel? Alder Burnett? Can I get a second?
Second.
Alder Zapp, thank you. Discussion? Questions? Then I think we're ready to call the roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alder Burnett.
I just wanted to make you aware that
when we do this at the county level, we do it for a lot of different townships because they use our planning. And that's one of the questions that we get asked when we're approving a zoning changes. Does it meet the comprehensive plan? So this is an important document. This isn't just something that they put in a file cabinet and leave it there for 10 years. So it is important.
And I would also like to comment that I know it's a requirement for almost all grants. They ask if this is, you know, whatever you're applying for, is that if that is part of your comprehensive plan. So, good. Any other questions or comments? Alder Gansky.
Yes, I just wanted to say, I was on the community action plan before I was on city council, and it was a really good experience. There's a lot of interest by the community and a lot of support for some of the things that were up there. And also it's pretty empowering to see the things we talked about on the screen. So I think it's great. Great that we have that community involvement.
Good, thank you. And I also want to remind you that even though I thought there was some really cool new ideas that are in the comprehensive plan, many of the items were in the old comprehensive plan. Things that we did not accomplish the last time around that were carried forward. So it's not a 100% new document. There's a lot of overlap. So good. Any other questions or comments?
Just
Alder
a quick
Bennett.
question.
Yeah.
Who takes the lead on this? Who
So,
makes this come to life as the months and years go by? Is it the council? Is it the mayor? Is it the city administrator? Who is it?
yeah, so I would say it's kind of twofold. First, the plan commission really is the lead entity over, it's a document for the plan commission to utilize. However, the city administrator and staff can also use the recommendations as they're trying to bring priorities to the council and even navigating their own programs and so forth. As they see grant opportunities, they're able to react to that based on the recommendations and the feedback that they know exist in this plan. And I realize that, yes, it's a lot of information to digest, and the delivery tonight was not the best, but this is also not a surprise. We've had this stuff before us for quite a long time. It's been on the website. I've provided you guys updates for quite a long time on this. And so why I bring that up is it's on us to continue to bring it forward. Sometimes when we put something on a shelf, it's very easy for us to forget. And so that's to your point, Joe, where who's the lead? Really, that's why you have a professional staff who, and an administrator and so forth, to continue to make sure that these things are in the forefront.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, then I think we're ready to call the roll.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Paris,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson, Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sop.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Next item is ordinance number 5.
Ordinance number 5-2025, an ordinance amending section 62-50 parking restrictions of the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. This is a second reading.
And because this is a second reading, we require a public hearing. Is there anyone, either online or in person, who would like to speak to this parking restriction municipal code? Anyone here or in person who wants to talk to us about parking restrictions, I believe by railroad tracks, correct? So, last but not least, third call, anyone who wants to talk about parking by railroad tracks? Hearing none, can I get a motion? Alder Yads.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Alder Bennett. Questions, comments? I know this was an operations committee item. Yeah, Todd?
So as I was looking at this today, I noticed one typo I had in here. So it'd be the 8th line down. It says the east side of Green Valley Road from a point 160 feet north of Industrial Drive to a point 300 feet north of Dodge Drive. Should be 300 feet north of Industrial Drive. If we could make that change.
Okay. So one typo correction. Do we need a motion for that, or can we just say accept it with corrections?
Yeah, it's just a typo.
Okay. Good. Any questions or comments? I don't know if there was much discussion in ops or Joe, you wanna?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of discussion and the question that gets begged here is that why did the railroad authorities do this now versus years ago and all that stuff? And they did find a few blatant parking issues. If you saw the picture in the pack with the truck parked over the tracks, that's one indication that we should do something. But otherwise, we don't really have a choice. We have to do this, and it's all safety related, so.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Then I think we're ready to call the roll.
Burnett,
Aye.
Free,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley. Aye. Keel,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild. Aye. Yads,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Bonet.
Aye.
And the ordinance carries. Next up are resolutions. Resolution number 44.
Resolution number 44-2025, a resolution approving a Class C per wine license to Dam Foodies for the Green and Gold Cafe.
And I believe this was passed through admin. Any questions or comments? Okay, can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Alder Zop. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alder Gansky. Now, any questions or comments? Seeing none, oh, go ahead.
Question.
Yeah.
Where is this? Where is this at? Is that the new building?
This is eBank Sports.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? Okay, then I think we're ready to call the roll.
Free,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild. Aye. Yads,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Bonet,
aye.
Burnett.
Aye.
Next up, resolution number 46.
Resolution number 46-2025, a resolution approving a proposal for executive recruitment services with Innovative Public Advisors.
Can I get a motion? Alder Yads?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. And a second? Alder Fisher? Thank you. Just a little background, you saw in your packet and you all received an email from me. This is the culmination of the work that our transition team has done to find a replacement city administrator. And we sent out requests for proposals to 3 different firms. And after talking to a variety of people and organizations who are familiar with these firms, we settled on IPA, whose proposal was in your packet. Please note, there was a typo in the resolution that's in your packet on page 26 in your packet. The handout that's in front of you is the correct resolution. So look at the hard copy, not what's in your packet. In terms of the dollar amount, there was just a slight difference in the dollar amount, a significant difference, but and at this point, what I would like to do is I would like to introduce to you the gentleman who is here from Innovative Public Advisors, the firm that our committee has chosen. Mr. Jay Shambo, we have chosen him both as to serve as our interim administrator, and then his firm will also do the job search. So that is what we're asking for this evening. So Mr. Shambo, if you want to come forward.
Happy to. Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you all for your service to the city of Beaver Dam. And folks that have given their life's work to serve in a appointed capacity, really appreciate folks like yourself who put your necks out there and your name on the ballot and become elected. So thanks for your service in advance. My name is Jay Shambo. I am a partner in Innovative Public Advisors. My business partner, Jess Wilds, and I started this firm. And we have a significant amount of public background. I have 32 years of city county management myself, most recently with the city of West Bend. I served as their city administrator for 8.5 years and just concluded my time there in April of this year. Really excited for this opportunity. Looking forward to being a part of your transition and assisting the council and mayor in the process and getting to know more of you, many of you in a deeper way of what you want to see in your next city administrator. So I know that we'll do a great job for you, and I look forward to working with your department head team, your city staff in the interim, assuming that you approve the resolution that's before you. I'll answer any questions that you might have of me this evening, and I do have some business cards that I won't impose on you, but I will pass them around in case you want to have a chance to contact me directly by way of cell phone or email.
So thank you. What questions do you have? Any at all, either for Mr. Shambo or for the team, because you might have some questions about our decision-making process. Yes, Alder Bonnet.
As you approach the interim, what do you think the most important component of your assessment will be?
That's a good question. Most important component of assessment is really determining what the city wants in their next administrator, what qualities they're looking for, what kind of skill set would be a logical mix for the department head team that you have, and maybe some components that aren't within those skill sets of the department heads that you have. Any gaps that you might currently have within the organization, something that you're looking for. But as far as the interim work that I'll be doing, I'll be working with your team and just being present and being available to answer questions and assist with day-to-day without shaking things up, so to speak. That's not the intent of an interim administrator. The intent of an interim administrator is to come in and to assist with your existing team who's super qualified to do the work that they do and not get in the way of that, but just to be there and serve as a resource for them and for you all.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, then I guess we're ready to call the roll, Tracy.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sop,
Aye.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie.
Aye.
And the resolution passes, and welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mark.
He will start next Monday, correct?
Yep.
The 9th. So
Thank you all.
thank you very much. Okay, next item up. Resolution number 46. Oh, no, I'm sorry, resolution number 47.
Resolution number 47-2025, a resolution amending the City of Beaver Dam procurement policy.
And I know this initially went through admin, and then ops had an opportunity to look at it. I don't think it required their approval. I don't know if we need further discussion. Maybe Nathan, do you want to talk about the procurement policy?
I don't need to talk about it and belabor it. I think both committees have seen it. Ops sent it back to admin with recommendations. We made a slight modification to provide department heads a little bit more leeway before needing to go to formal RFP. So we extended to that $50,000 threshold for formal RFP. But as far as actual purchase authority, when we actually spend, the thresholds would remain the same.
Good,
And
but
if there are any questions, yeah.
can I get a motion? Alder Burnett
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
and can I get a second? Alder Wild.
Yes, I'll make a second for that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the procurement policy? Then we are ready to call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sop,
Aye.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty.
Aye.
Very good. The resolution passes. Next item up is Resolution 48.
Resolution number 48-2025, a resolution authorizing a quote for a sewer service area plan update.
And Todd, you want to speak to this one?
Sure. So this sort of goes hand in hand with the comp plan that was just approved. It's another long-range planning document. It's meant to be a 20-year document. It was, the one we have on file was written in 2001 with a couple minor amendments in 2005, 2011. What it's doing, it's taking a look at our current sewer facilities and really looking at that future land use map as part of the comp plan and figuring out how or if we can even serve those lands with sewer. It is a document that's required by DNR. So just due to the age of our plan, the substantial growth we've had since the early 2000s, our connection with Burnett Sanitary District, and then of course the recent comp plan update, we do recommend going ahead with the sewer service area plan update.
Okay, can I get a motion? Alder Burnett,
Make that motion.
thank you. And a second? Alder Hiley?
I'll-
Wonderful. Any questions or comments for Todd? Then, oh, go ahead, Alder.
Yeah, I was just wondering about, we're using the TID 7 funds for this? Is that correct?
Do not look at me.
Yes.
I was just wondering if,
Seven.
because if it's okay to use TID funding for a citywide plan.
So it's not a citywide plan. It's extending the service area for a specific area, correct, Todd? And
Right, I mean, what's forcing the hand is, I guess, the area that was just added on up there in the northern regions. But yeah, it is looking at future land uses in essence.
And so that's an accepted use of TID funds.
Believe so.
it would be an accepted use of TID funds.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Any other questions? Okay, Tracy, if you want to read the roll.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sop,
Aye.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
And the resolution passes. Next item up, resolution number 49.
Resolution number 49-2025, a resolution awarding the contract for the Madison Street reconstruction project.
And I know this went through ops and I don't know if Todd, you want to comment or?
Sure, I think the most important thing to come out of this was we only had one bidder for this project, and I think it's reflective of where we are in the construction season. But even though we only got one bid, I feel like it was a decent bid. It came in, I think, like 3% over what we were expecting it to come in at. We would not recommend rebidding the project for several reasons. I guess the first being we would never get it built this year if we went back to rebid, which would push it to next year. However, next year is also construction of Madison Street from Chatham to Rowell, and it's a DOT project, so we're not going to be able to run it concurrently. That said, it would go to 2027, and at that point, with inflation, we'd be back in the same spot. So we do recommend just proceeding with this bid.
So can I get a motion? Alder Wild.
I'll make a motion to accept that proposal.
Thank you. And a second? Alder Furry?
Yeah, I'll second.
Very good. Questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zap,
Aye.
Bonet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky.
Aye.
And the resolution carries. Next item up under resolutions is resolution number 50.
Resolution number 50-2025, a resolution approving land division of city tax parcel number 206-1214, 0941-001, 1023-002, 1032-002, 1033-001, 1034-003, 1513-001, 1521-001, 1532-001, 1544-001, and 1611-001. Thank you, Todd.
So Todd, you want to explain this one? Yeah, yay.
All right. So as Tracy just read off there, we're talking about the parcels of land for the large development up on the north side of town. It's bound by Hemlock Road, County W, County A, and US 151. There are 10 different existing parcels out there. For the development, they're essentially combining all these parcels into one and then splitting them off into 4 different parcels. So what we would be left with would be a 5-acre lot 1, 172 acre lot 2. Actually, I'm gonna bring up the map that shows these. All right. So lot 1 is 5 acres. It's down here. 172 acre lot 2, which is right here. 562 acre lot 3, which is this parcel here, which is the main development area. And then a 43 acre lot 4, which is a new substation. Couple of side notes, along with the CSM, we're cleaning up some of the jagged right of way that we have along A and W, and dedicating some right of way on Hemlock Road. And then there are 4 easements associated with the CSM, which are recorded by separate document, which you'll see next on the agenda. I know Steve from Veerbecker is in attendance. If there's any questions on the CSM, or I can help answer them also, but we could do that now.
So good. Maybe I can get a motion first.
I'll
Alder
make that
Yads.
motion.
Thank you, Alder Yads. And a second, Alder Perkins. Thank you. Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, we're ready to call the roll.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sap,
Aye.
Bonet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley.
Aye.
And the resolution passes. Next item up is resolution number 51.
Resolution number 51-2025, a resolution approving a municipal water and sewer easement agreement between Degas LLC and the city of Beaver Dam.
And Todd, take it away.
All right. So like I said, on the previous item, we have the 4-lot CSM and then 4 easements associated with such. Up on the screen, I'll show you where they are. All right, so we're looking at the southeast corner of the site, 151 on the east, Hemlock Road on the south. The first easement is a sewer and water easement from Hemlock Road to County A. The second easement is a sewer meter easement at the southeast corner of the property. And then there's also a water meter easement along the south boundary. As far as the fourth easement, go to the northern half of the site. And there's a water main easement that extends east to west or west to east from County W to County A, which would allow us to basically loop our system between the two highways.
Good. So can I get a motion? Alder Perkins?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Very good. And a second, Alder Gansky?
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments about these easements?
Todd, you mentioned the loop. I mean, I saw two lines. Where does it loop back? Does it go back down W or how does? I guess I didn't see the full loop. I was kind of curious about that. Or do we have existing easements to make the loop?
So as part of the development, we're extending down Hemlock Road and then south on W back along B, which is our main loop.
Okay.
In their second phase of concern, well, in a couple of years, we'll be extending up W as part of the developer agreement and then coming back over to A.
Okay.
Which will dead end for now. But eventually with the easement that they're granting us along 151, we would bring it up to A and then loop on A.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Good question. Anything else? Okay, then we're ready to call the roll.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Sop,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Furry,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel.
Aye. The resolution carries. Next item up, letter H, resolution number 52.
Resolution number 52-2025, a resolution accepting a statement of work with Digital Red for electronic recycling collection services.
Okay, Nathan or Todd, I don't know who wants to.
I can take it. So this gentleman contacted us earlier this month. Basically, their company provides free services for e-recycling. Todd, Dan, and I met with him, discussed the process. We actually had Kieran review the general statement of work, added a bit of language just to provide some protections or some setting expectations in the case that they should ever no longer wish to perform this service, that we weren't stuck with additional electronics goods. But really, in all honesty, there's very little downside for moving forward with this program. It's extending a service that normally wouldn't be available to the community. I believe this is the same company that partnered with Wayland Academy, or I believe that they had a drop-off site there recently. As far as staff's concerned, we're excited for this program. I know that many times when electronic recycling, there's a cost to it, but in this case, they're willing to provide this free of charge, and they're committing to a standard of making sure that they're disposing of it correctly. So if you have any questions regarding operations, I know Dan's in the audience and can also address any concerns, but the thought process would be that the site, drop-off site would be similar to oil or I forget what else antifreeze and batteries drop off that happens at the public works site. We'd prefer that not to happen at the yard waste site because we want to eliminate just miscellaneous dumping at the yard waste. We'd prefer that to continue to remain mostly organics. If there are any questions, we can entertain them.
Alder Zopp?
Were there any restrictions on, I mean, they did say electronic waste. They didn't define it. Are there any restrictions on what is or is not considered electronic waste?
Yeah, at this time that no. Yeah. And yeah. Now that you're begging this question, he may want to provide us more guidance. And we can follow up with him on that. As far as marketing, before we market this, we'll make sure that we work with him. But that was one of the commentaries that we did ask that question, and he said most people understand it's TVs, computers, things of that nature, and so not necessarily white goods and other stuff. So again, the other thing is that if it becomes something where there isn't an ROI, he's also going to let us know. So as a community, it makes sense to be wise. Like you don't want a good thing to all of a sudden go away. So
question. I don't understand their business model. How do they make money?
I don't know if he wants to reveal that. I didn't ask him that. I could. I did invite him. Mike Hart was unfortunately unable to make it tonight. But again, if they're willing to provide this service, I think it's worthwhile for us to at least move forward with it. And I know that he's worked with other communities too, both in Illinois and also in Wisconsin. One thing that's made it feasible for Wisconsin is that we recently passed some laws that allow him to enter into the state. So there's some credits and things of that nature that are beneficial.
I was just curious because I know there are some communities that I'm familiar with that accept electronic waste, but then you pay a fee. So I was just wondering what the economics are that allow him to.
Todd, do you want to talk about your experience? No, you're exactly right. Typically, there's fees charged, but I think I know he had explained one nuance, but it was a bit ago, and I didn't write down those notes. I was too excited that it was free. So
good. Any other questions? Then I believe I need a motion. Alder Burnett?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second, Alder Bonnet?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Then we're ready to call the roll.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Yuds,
Aye.
Zopp,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Burry,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gansky,
Aye.
Kylie,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson.
Great, the resolution passes. I think that's kind of exciting. Item I on the agenda, a resolution approving multiple updates to the City of Beaver Dam Personnel Handbook. This item went to admin this evening, and admin asked for had some questions and wanted some more information. So they have delayed it. It's going to go through admin again next time. So we're going to table letter I till it gets through admin. Item number 5, I believe, is that a typo? Just discussion and possible action. Okay, yeah, so there really is no Item 5, item 6, mayoral appointments. I need to officially appoint Alder Gansky to the Administrative Committee, and in addition, I have 3 community members, John Larson, Jen Warmbold, and Julie Zahn, who are all willing to serve another term on the Community Development Committee. So can I get a motion? Alder Zopp,
I'll make a motion to approve the appointments.
thank you, and a second. Alder Burnett,
Second.
thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, then we're ready to call the roll. Oh, all those in favor of approving those listed for their appointments, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good.
I'm going to abstain from.
I appreciate that. You don't want to commit one way or the other. Okay. And also the item number 7, closed session, that is also a typo. We don't have any closed session business. So that takes us to item number 8. Alder Burnett,
Motion to adjourn.
and a second. Thank you, Alder Keel. All those in favor, we'll see you in 2 weeks.